What's up, movie fans? Welcome back to the Hills Maniacs YouTube channel. I'm the master of movies, Clay, and today I'm going to be reviewing the 2003 Best Picture winner, The Lord of the Rings: Return of the King. If you've kept up with this channel, I did A Beautiful Mind review because it also won Best Picture for the year it came out. And so basically, because I've always been interested in the Oscars and who wins each category and stuff like that, and I do love movies, I have a lot of um, Best Picture winners. And if you've seen my DVD and Blu-ray collection, my updated one, parts 1 through 5 that I recently did, you would have noticed that because I mentioned a lot of them throughout the thing, which one had won Best Picture. And if you haven't watched those, go check them out when you're done watching this video. But I wanted to do this because I wanted to give my thoughts on whether or not I think that these movies that have won Best Picture deserved it, in my opinion, as a movie fan. Deserved to win Best Picture at the Oscars. And I can't really compare it to other things that came out that year because I don't know everything that came out in 2003. But I can give my opinion based on the movie itself and how many times I've watched it, and based on what I consider to be a good movie as to whether or not I think it deserved it. So let's get right into this. I rewatched the entire Hobbit and Lord of the Rings trilogy over the past week or so, and I did enjoy it a lot more now than I did the original time when I first watched them. You know, I've seen them a few times after that, but they've always just been kind of boring for me. But after watching them in order, watching The Hobbit first, actually paying attention to the movies and the stories being told, you realize there's a lot of connections to The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings, even though The Hobbit came out second. So that was really good for them to do that. And Return of the King, which was the third Lord of the Rings movies, won Best Picture in 2003. And I didn't just want to rewatch that one and then do a review on it. I wanted to have context going into it on, all of them. So I rewatched all of them, and of the six movies, I think Return of the King is definitely my favorite. I mean, I've always liked The Hobbit a little bit more than the Lord of the Rings trilogy. I think I just got into it more because there was a lot more fighting than just kind of walking through the woods or, certain things happening that are pretty convenient. And I think that's why I like Return of the King the most, because it is a lot of fighting and a huge battle scene. And, there's a lot of awesome stuff that happens in this movie. So do I think it deserved to win Best Picture based on what I know about the Oscars and based on what I know about movies and how I rate movies as if they are good or bad? I'm going to say yes, because overall it was a well written script. Um, the character, if you watch the entire franchise, you get to know and love the characters. There's certain things, when they go off separate on their journeys. You have one journey with Legolas and Aragorn and all of them, and then you have another journey with the hobbits, which are trying to destroy the ring. And it does a lot of bouncing back and forth, but it does it at the right time. So it's not like it cuts off in the middle of a battle scene and goes and shows the other group. It finishes the battle first, then shows the other group, and then comes back. And it does a lot of that throughout the series, and they do a really good job at doing that. And it kept me interested. Even though I've seen it before, I still wanted to pay attention and see if I could catch like different things that I might not have noticed the first few times I watched it. And that's what you're supposed to do with movies. You're supposed to be able to pay attention and be able to figure things out that you haven't noticed before and still be entertained by the movie itself. And so I think it did that really well as well. The cast of actors it had was just great. I mean, Viggo Mortensen, Surian McKellen, Orlando Bloom, Elijah Wood, all these different actors in this movie, and the way they bring these characters that may have been like enemies, or not necessarily enemies, but just may not have liked each other beforehand, and they managed to bring them together for the greater good, if you will. Um, they did that really well in this movie, and of course, there's always one scumbag in this movie that tries to stop them from doing something, or is just really rude to people. In this one, it ends up being the king of the city that they go to, because he doesn't really care about his son. He wished he would have died instead of his other son, and so it's there's always that one kind of inner feud between the group, or between a member of the group and somebody else, and they didn't focus on that, but it was there. And so that too, for me, is one thing, because a lot of movies tend to go too deep into either the family fighting, or the main character fighting against somebody in his own group or whatever, and they argue too much, and that's what they focus on in the movie. This didn't do that. It focused on the main story while incorporating other details into it, and it was a really well directed movie. Peter Jackson did a great job on all of them, but Return of the King, in my opinion, definitely did deserve Best Picture. Now, again, I don't know what else came out in 2003, so I can't compare it to other movies to say whether or not it deserved it that way. Because I don't know what I know. Like, Star Wars came out in 2003, which would have been Revenge of the Sith, and compared to Revenge of the Sith, yes, I would have taken Return of the Jedi over Revenge of the Sith. However, I don't know what else came out in 2003, or was at least nominated for an Oscar for Best Picture in 2003. So I can't tell you based on that, what to compare it to, and whether or not it deserved Best Picture between the rest of the movies. So there you go, guys. That's my quick little review, without spoiling anything, of Lord of the Rings: The Return of the King. And if you're like me, and you like these kinds of videos, and you like the Oscars, and you like Best Pictures and stuff, definitely keep checking these out, because all the ones I have, I will watch at some point and try and review them. And if you guys have any ideas as to which one I should watch next that has won Best Picture, let me know. And if you need to know which ones I have on DVD that I could watch, go back and watch my updated DVD and Blu-ray collection videos, parts 1 through 5, on this channel. Stay tuned for what else we got going on, and Steven and I are going to be reviewing the top 10 highest grossing films of all time. We've done Endgame and Avatar so far, so Titanic's next. We'll be doing that at some point. And just stay tuned for what else we got going on in this video. Like this video, leave a comment, subscribe for more, and have a great day, guys.
Subscribe.